Saw a lot of machine shops down there for C. He's got 3 machine shops down, so he's going to be pumping a lot of tanks here into the mid game. We'll see if he decides to go straight starport after this. It is going to get that middle 12 o'clock position up. Looks like he's sieging a little bit along that corner, trying to make sure he holds his side of the map. And interestingly enough, Forgg being a little bit more aggressive, he's just relying on those mines to cover that bottom left-hand corner and relying on his fast vulture force to engage anything that might have been headed that direction. But and actually that army not whirling, so I gotta think that he's gonna fall very much behind. He's getting the weapons upgrade right. I'm sorry, he's gonna have the troop advantage right now, but I gotta feel like into the mid game, as long as C is getting that upgrade, which I assume he is, C's gonna have a pretty sizable advantage if Forgg can't take a huge economic advantage and push into C and basically deny a base or some sort of base right now, basically. And it looks like he's not able to do so. C has already got his 3rd base going, and it looks like he's already basically just by troop position has established another 2 in the upper right hand corner and also at the 9 o'clock.
Yeah, finally some blood being spilled, or some motor oil, I guess. Before this point, it didn't seem like there was much action going on. Finally, the army's kind of meeting and squaring off in the middle. We're finally getting to that kind of point. And C just throwing his barracks away to try and see if he can spot any tech. But there's nothing really to see over there. Some supply depots. Watch out, C! He's got a lot of supply depots! OMG! But yeah, I really see this game just tipping more and more in Forgg's favor. I think C has had a little bit of a troop advantage this whole time, and he hasn't really done anything with it. And I'm not sure if he's upgrading at all. I mean, he may have just gotten that armory for the Goliath Comsat combo that works well against Wraiths or Mines. And he may not have actually started his upgrades, because it doesn't look like he has Weapons 1 upgrade yet at all. And now they're finally getting some dropships in play here in just a minute. So we're going to be seeing some pretty standard mid-game TVT, it looks like. Yeah, so it should be pretty interesting. I think it's going to make for an interesting game as well, because now I haven't had a lot of chance to look at this map. It's a new map, and I haven't really even had a chance to take a look at it yet. But it looks like there's a lot of hills up and down and that sort of thing, so mobility is going to be huge. Its dropships are going to make it a really, really important factor in moving your troops around and that sort of thing, because it's going to be really difficult to move them over land. So anyway, for Forgg busting down this obstacle in the middle, though, he may be going for an actual ground assault before the dropships come into play.
You know, he can easily flank C's forces in the middle. The observer was just showing there's not that many siege tanks in that center area. There's no Goliaths at all. I'm kind of curious, where is C's forces? There's not that many troops. And okay, engaging over here. Okay, there's C's forces. I was wondering, where the heck are all of his troops? He's got some stationed over there in the valley trying to protect the top right portion of the map from any sort of counter. But that leaves his center very, very weak from a flank from 2 directions, from the bottom left and from that center area. Now that those neutral buildings are gone, Forgg could actually pressure that center very heavily from the bottom left and the center, and he's going to lose that expansion if Forgg notices that. I think, though, Forgg is going to wait for more dropships. And oh, what's this? C going for Wraiths?
Whew, nice switch of tech here. C knows he's got the gas advantage. He's already got the weapons 1 upgrade over Forgg, so he can hold lower ground. He can hold that position. It's going to force Forgg to get some dropships out. He is just putting 2 down, so he could go Wraith, or he could just go mass dropship in the middle. It looks like he's putting it in kind of an off position to kind of hide it.
No.
Oh, no, he's going BCs straight off. He knows he's got gas established. That's one thing about Carthage is every single expansion has a gas. He's got 5 gas right now, and he's going to try to take that tech switch off that weapons 1 advantage, just relying on the fact that it's going to be a while before Forgg is really going to want to press into him, because again, that weapons 1 going into the forward position, you need dropships to really help out, and that's going to buy him some time to get some battle cruisers up in the air, and we'll see if this gambit pays off.
Yeah, this C could definitely come out with some battle cruisers and really surprise. I mean, his tech is kind of in some strange locations. It doesn't look like there's any indication from Forgg that he's onto this battle cruiser switch at this point. Oh, actually, oh, jeez, Forgg trying to come around on the side with a little bit of a flank, not quite working that well, but he's actually going to set up a turret right there and try and establish some position on that base. He may even try and take that base. We saw that happening in, crap, I don't remember what game it was. Another TVT on this map, Nada versus someone, I think. Anyway, where they actually were able to take that base within the other player's kind of region, because they were able to set up defenses. And there's such a big map, there could be stuff going on in all different places at once. So Really, it's not that easy to go and take that little location over there, because then you're going to distract yourself from the opposite side of the map. There are some dropships out now for Forgg. And C does have the weapons 1 upgrade. Like you said, I was mistaken. I guess he must have had it almost finished when I looked before. Wow, another starport going down here for C. So they've kind of cut the map in half. I thought Forgg had a little bit better map control in the beginning, but C has managed to establish his half of the map pretty well after all, and this could be pretty good for him switching into the late game, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, but BCs are already out though for C, and I don't think Forgg has noticed that, and he doesn't really have that many Goliaths on the ground. He could be in a lot of trouble here if he doesn't spot that sooner or later, because in order to counter those BCs right off the bat, you got to have a decent-sized Goliath army on the ground ready to defend. Of course, Forgg does have the mobility with his dropships, but if those dropships just happenstance run across those BCs, Forgg will lose his entire army in like seconds. And a comsat, looks like Forgg might have seen that. He does get that comsat out by the 12 o'clock, and he does see those starports up there, so it looks like he's just trying to find locations to utilize his army, and he'll probably start spamming Goliaths here in a minute, or maybe try to go for Cloaked Wraith himself, but he's got to do something quick or he's just going to get overrun by those BCs.
Whew, a lot of BCs already out, and I just don't see a lot of anti-air in the ground. Yeah, I think C might have won this game on that. That weapons 1 did come back online, but Forgg went for those dropships, I should say, and C completely skipping dropships altogether. 2 armories up now, so he's going to try to maintain that weapons upgrade advantage, and well, I guess over the air, because he's going to get the BCs and that physics lab upgrade. And he's just waiting for Yamato cannon, so he can start Yamatoing those tanks down, move the other tanks underneath. I think he's going to go for that 3 o'clock location first and just wind his way that direction, because then he can just split the forces in half, establish a nice little line there, and then the entire midsection, that entire 9 o'clock portion of the map will be completely isolated, making sure that Forgg can't take anything at the 3 o'clock location. Looks like he's pushing up there a little bit edge side, so Forgg trying to get he's hitting the gas, which can be critical, but tanks running up edge side, they're going to be able to take care of that, those 2 tanks down below fairly easily. Yeah, you can see them getting wiped out almost immediately. But yeah, and I got to think Forgg's still worried about that 9 o'clock position as well, that inside 9, because he doesn't have a lot of forces protecting that as well. Putting down some starports of his own to try to get some Wraith out. We'll see if he can transition fast enough without losing too many bases here. Now the question is where does C want to attack?
It looks like Forg's going to respond with Wraiths. Yeah, he's upgrading the cloak, so it's pretty obvious now. But he has not landed his science facility or anything like that. And BC's now coming out, trying to do some damage to those tanks. He's putting himself in a little bit of danger, though, because it is a long run back to his tanks from there. And, okay, there the tanks actually moving up to meet those battle cruisers. But there were Goliaths within range